Welcome back to my channel. I'm here to check in with you guys and wanted to talk again about self-sabotage and discipline. I'm on here feeling inspired today because it is actually something that I've really been struggling with since I finished my master class. And it's so interesting how I was so inspired in doing my first master class and in teaching people about these topics, things that I've struggled with and things that I've found ways to push through, and how unaware I was about the self-sabotage that comes after we reach a goal. And I think one of the reasons for me that came up recently is because I finished my first master class and it went well. And what happens? You feel the momentum and you feel the need to start a new project, and the fear again of starting over and, will my next class be as successful? What does this mean for me in the future? All of that self-doubt started to come up, and I didn't even realize I was going through the motions, but what I should have been aware of, and I have been aware of, is my procrastination. And so something I wanted to talk about was that I think is so important that we often miss, and something that's been missing from my life is accountability. And when I started to really feel inspired, I found myself that I stopped going to therapy, and I made excuses for not prioritizing therapy, which was, I'm paying out of pocket, and I really need to be saving money instead of thinking that, I'm going to invest in myself and I'm going to be disciplined with my money in other areas, such as maybe I won't go out to eat as often, or maybe I'll work an extra shift because I, DoorDash on the side, things like that. My mindset went from, looking for an excuse to get out of therapy because I knew that there were things that I was not holding myself accountable for. So I found an excuse, which was that I didn't have the money. And I see this so often with coaching. And I myself have these fears pop up, this fear of money, this fear of, truly, not having enough money one day. And when those fears start to come up, it's so interesting to me because the things that I myself talk myself out of doing are the things that actually benefit me financially, meaning that, going to therapy holds me accountable. And when I'm in therapy, I'm making better decisions. I'm processing things so that I don't feel paralyzed or stuck. And I'm actually more productive, and I'm actually more on target with my goals. Very similarly, after I stopped seeing a coach, it took me several months to really motivate myself. And it came from a place of desperation. When I had quit a job, all of a sudden I had that need and that spark, which was really desperation, which helped me to launch my first masterclass. And so I want to talk to you guys about the importance of investing in yourself, and this is a message just for me as well, and holding yourself accountable. I found that I don't talk to the friends who I know will hold me accountable or tell me just to get up and to do it, as much as I talk to the ones who, show me a lot of grace when I am really slacking on my goals. And so today I wanted to talk about how that comes up, and how as we start to reach our goals, what's really great is that we start to find that motivation comes after, and we start to find that we do have the strength, we do have the willpower. We find out how to motivate ourselves. But what also happens is that we start to hold ourselves less accountable because we've tasted a little bit of, success, and we start to fall off, right? We skip a coaching session, or for me, I stopped working with my one-on-one coach. I stopped going to therapy because I thought that I had it all figured out. And what happened is that I got comfortable. And one of the things that I talk about with my coaching clients and in my first master class was that The reason why a lot of us stop chasing our goals is the fear of failure. And we actually resist change because we like to be comfortable, and how when we're chasing our goals and our dreams, it's very uncomfortable because we have that fear of failure, which a lot of it is about adjusting your mindset. But there's so much more to just adjusting your mindset to failure is a lesson and it's necessary. There's also the piece of holding yourself accountable and making sure that you're setting yourself up for success in the future, because you want to keep growing, right? You don't want to just hit a goal and then stop, right? Life is going to happen. Things are going to come up. You're still going to have seasons and moments of self-doubt. And so that's why it's so important to find that accountability, and to remind yourself that, just because you've reached one new level, you're not done growing. You want to reach the next level. And sometimes that requires change. Often it does require change. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that today, and making sure that, in order to prevent self-sabotage, we are holding ourselves accountable, but we also are putting people in our lives, whether that's a therapist, a coach, both, a family member, people who we trust to hold us accountable, and then also allowing them to do that, and how important that is. And then also how it's so important to not talk yourself out of it. What you're doing is your brain is actually allowing you to talk yourself out of finding this accountability based on money, when the truth is that if you were really, really disciplined, you'd find that money elsewhere. You'd get less Starbucks. You'd go out to eat less or order DoorDash less. You'd take on one extra client or one extra job. So the truth is that we start to set ourselves up for failure when we start to become successful by thinking that we have it all figured out. And it's so important to have that accountability and surround yourself with people who are going to continue to push you to grow, because you don't want to become stagnant. So this is a challenge for all of you out there as you're reaching your goals, to keep going forward and to make sure that you have those accountability partners in place, whether it's a coach or a therapist, and to make sure that you're setting yourself up for long-term success, not just short-term success. Those people are going to be vital in helping you get back on track.